Visionaries, creative geniuses, modern-day Renaissance men. These are not the words that people who know Luke and Jorge would use to describe them. They are best friends, shameless connoisseurs of the basic and the niche. And most importantly, two guys just being dudes. Welcome to Bad Jokes and Semi-Wisecracks with Luke and Jorge.
Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. We are your captains. My name is Raspberry Jerry.
My name is Streep Hanks.
Streep? Hello, Streep.
Streep Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a name.
Yeah, it's two names, in fact, a first and a last. I feel like mine's more like a title and a first.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, in the age of social media, you can kind of be called whatever you want.
Right. I worked hard for this name.
Yeah.
A lot of raspberry-ing.
My private Instagram is now Spicy Fabio, so.
It's funny because it's real.
If you add me, I will not accept. Yeah, this is. It's been a minute since we've done this.
1 whole minute.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we just got off the phone call with Buckman.
Yep. Will, good to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
1
good to
minute
see
ago.
you. No,
Yep.
that was a week ago. That was 2 weeks ago.
I don't
That was
know.
2 weeks
What
ago.
is
Well,
time?
whatever.
Yeah.
A month ago. Whatever. But speaking of guests, we have a guest for this episode.
We have a guest
too.
for this episode.
Oh my goodness!
Woo!
Yeah.
It's our good friend Isabell May.
Hello, happy to be here.
So
Yeah.
good to have you.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
I'm going to not bump the mic stand like I just did any more times. And you all can count how
Hey,
many times.
solidarity.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So, is anything that our listeners should know about our dear friend Isabell?
Oh, not super. I use she, her pronouns. Jorge and I did some schooling together, played a fair amount of D&D together. Yeah,
Great.
with both Luke and Jorge. No, Luke and I also went to school together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I forget things easily. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like all three of us went to school together.
yeah.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yep. It was a good time, school.
School. Speaking of school,
Speaking of school,
I have to bring up the fact that you're not in school right now.
I'm not in school anymore. I just bumped the mic again. I'm not in school anymore. Yeah. It's been a couple weeks. I'm really living. However, do you want to hear about the dream that I had last night? It was about school.
100%.
So
Absolutely.
I had a dream that, so I teach choir, right? But I have a colleague who teaches band and orchestra. So I had a dream that she had a concert with her kiddos, but it was taking place at my old high school, and I was there to like help supervise. And I don't know why we were at my old high school, and I don't know why I would be there to help supervise, because like we don't do that for each other's stuff, you know? And so at the concert, there were like a bunch of my graduated seniors. They were there like to perform, and it was like nice to see them and whatever. But then I went home, and when I arrived home, I found that there was some dude in my garage just like working on his own garage project. And I was like, hey dude, like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I'm just like working on a thing or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, like, this is my house and I need to park my car here. And so he was like, okay, like, just give me a couple minutes, I'll clear out. So I like parked my car to the side, and then I like kind of like edged around him and then like got into my house and then like closed and locked my garage door. And I was like, how very strange. And then a little taken aback, I walked upstairs and then I walked into my bedroom to discover that my bed was gone. And then I woke up. So that was my dream that I had.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think your bed was sending you messages.
maybe.
It's tired of you.
Yeah. It was like time for me to get up. Like I think this was like after a first alarm, but before like I got up, you know? Yeah. So
Looking
yeah.
to get rid of you.
Yep. So yeah, watch out for guys doing garage projects in your garage.
I also had a dream. I remembered it while I was driving, but I had this dream like maybe 2 months ago. It was very strange. I was...
Wait, did you say you had the dream while you were driving?
No. I had the dream like 2 months ago, but I
About-
remembered it today.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
While I
All
was
right.
driving today.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I think like some weird deja vu thing, and then it like triggered like this feels like when I was in a dream. The dream was that I had bought a car for $125.
Ooh.
And it was like a really, really terrible like Nissan, like a Honda CRV type, small, squat, little passenger carrying thing.
Don't you knock my Honda CRVs.
No, I love Honda CRVs. Honda, if you're out there, sponsor us.
Yeah.
We love CRVs.
We'll do a cool ad. It'll be great. It'll be zippy and peppy, and you'll love it.
Just like your cars.
Yeah. Zippy and peppy and zippy and peppy.
Yes. But I was driving this car around, and then I got to my parents' house, and I left the car there, and then I took another car, like a third car that wasn't my car that I own now or this new car that I just bought. That was like a really old kind of beater car. I left it there, and it turned into a dune buggy, and then I picked up a third car, and I was driving that around. And then I got back, and I was like, what's up with this car now? And they're like, well, it's a dune buggy now, so we sold it. And I was like, what is going on? And then I woke up.
Wow.
That's where my dream state is right now.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Dreams are wacky.
Buying and selling cars.
Have you had any weird dreams of late?
I have so many weird dreams on a daily basis. It's mostly a question of whether or not I remember them. I have the worst recently, just constant high school dreams. Back in high school, sitting in Mr. Weisbrod's history class. And this was an interesting high school for a number of reasons that I will mostly leave out because they reveal a lot about me. But I'm sitting in Mr. Weisbrod's history class, and it's one of he's one of the tougher teachers at the school. We got along pretty well, but he really hated my friend Nick Castellini. And so
That's an awesome name.
it's a great name.
Yeah.
Cool guy. And so I'm basically dreaming that I'm back in this class, sort of like just standard schooling stuff. Weisbrod's at the front of the room teaching about American history. I look back, my friend Nick Castellini is asleep on his desk. Not unusual. And then I hear just very loud, "Wake up, son." And I look back at Nick's desk, expecting Weisbrod to be standing over the desk, yelling at Nick. And then I turn back because he's not there, and he's standing over me. And I wake up, and my alarm is going off, and it's time for me to go to work.
Oh, no.
It was a rather jarring way to wake up.
Yeah, that sounds traumatic.
No, yeah. I didn't appreciate the reminder of high school either.
So this was like recently then?
Yeah. That was a couple days ago that I had that dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sort of. Not really.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, you're right.
It sounds very unpleasant.
Yeah.
High school dreams in general suck.
Right.
I had dreams in high school. Often they involved girls.
You didn't hit the thing when you said that. So, there it is. Yeah,
I forgot. It's been so long since I've done one of these that I'm like. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of buttons that make sounds, that could bring us to my proposition. If you all are ready for that, are we
Yes.
ready for that?
Do you have a proposition?
I do.
You prepared?
I prepared it much before this, and definitely not while we were sitting here. So,
shareholders?
yes,
You will be the judge if he came up with this minutes before we began.
no, it was certainly it. Well, I guess it was a number of minutes, but definitely more than one. So you may be familiar, if you are as old as we are, or perhaps a little younger or older, of a certain human who would sell us products by the name of Billy Mays.
Bill!
Billy Mays.
William.
A classic.
I've been thinking about him recently, and boy, he was just such a gem. He would like come into your cartoons and like scare you and talk about the sham wow or the flex
He would
tape.
come into your cartoons and scare you?
You know, like you're watching Teen Titans and suddenly it's like, "Hi, Billy Mays here with the car that can fly."
I don't remember him and Beast
MakeMyCarFly.com.
Boy in the same scene.
Yeah, well, they had to change. Right.
Throwback.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a website.
Yep. Go to that website. You'll love it. MakeMyCarFly.com. Anyway, so Billy Mays, a real gem, passed away somewhat recently, so we can't hear him advertise more things. But my proposition is like a thing that you have where it's Billy Mays' voice, but you can just type in whatever you want, and it'll just make him say that. So, if you want like Billy Mays to read you Harry Potter to go to sleep, you can just put in Harry Potter and then some kind of AI will take Billy Mays' voice and make it read that. So you can just have Billy Mays say whatever you want. And I don't know what we would call it, but right off the top of my head, maybe like the Mazinator or like the Maziac or something. So yes, it could be an app. Ooh, there could even be like ASMR channels of Billy Mays, but he's still yelling because he's Billy Mays.
The good old maze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that.
Good old Mays.
I would.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's my proposition.
We may not be too far from this. We've already have various sorts of voice modulation programs. Just run Billy Mays' old commercials through that, and who knows what you might spit out.
Yeah. And there's so many of them. Like we would have so many samples to use.
Oh yeah. We could 100% recreate a hologram of Billy Mays to play at Coachella. And that's how we advertise this app.
I want that to happen
I
so
was
bad.
thinking new commercials, Princess Leia from the new trilogy style.
Like
Ooh,
CGI.
like CGI.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, a little
It's like a
bit.
little uncanny valley. Screw it. We're here. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
New commercials. New Billy Mays commercials.
Yeah. Or just general Billy Mays talking to you in a non-weird sort of a way. Or I guess it could be weird. You can have him say whatever you want. It's your maze. Any maze you want it.
It's your maze.
Do what you want to do. We never planned those things. They just happen.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Well, shareholders, you can tell us what you think. You can reply to us on Twitter. We've been tweeting at you, and you haven't replied, and we're a little sad
We're lonely and lonely.
and lonely. But tweet at us, and we'll respond to you, because that's what we do.
Right.
I personally have a very deep fondness for Billy Mays and his like luscious beard. He was a former baseball player.
Really?
Yeah, he was a former
Wow.
major leaguer.
That feels like that really fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like a heck of a player too. So
Ooh. A real heck? Like a whole heck?
a whole
Or
heck of
just
a player.
like a half of a heck?
At least 3/4 of a heck.
Okay.
Yeah.
3/4, 4/5,
4 out of 5 hecks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because he was like a Golden Glover and like.
Is that a Bond film?
All right. I support. I'm behind it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can have my shares.
Aw.
Yeah,
All of
here you
them?
go. Most of them.
Thanks.
3/4.
I will take 4/5 of your shares. Thank you.
Wait, do I get shares as a guest?
Yeah, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, you actually, you're president of the board technically as our guest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a canon now. Write it down in the wiki.
Yeah. That's why we put you on the throne
Ah, yeah.
as opposed to these chairs that we're sitting on.
We were actually kneeling.
Right. We're bowing. Yes.
It's all very formal.
Yes.
We're recording a podcast. There's just one mic going off to this massive throne made of swords.
Ooh, there are some swords in this room. I noticed. I'm not going to say where we are, but there are some swords.
Yeah, it's weird that they would have swords here.
Yeah.
Anyways. Do
Here's-
you?
What?
Oh,
Nope.
What were you gonna say?
It was
yeah,
dumb.
No,
You go. I was just going to say, here's Wonderwall. What were you going to say?
Well, I think I might have a proposition.
Ooh.
Yeah, might is a strong word, but the pen is that word.
Right.
It is
It's
might ear.
Then the sword.
Anyways,
You did that on purpose.
I did not. So I have a proposition.
Great.
Shareholders, members of the board,
Yes.
president of the board, if I may entreat you to my proposition. Let us begin with a story. A story of a boy. This boy's name was Chris Rock. The name of the show, Everybody Hates Chris. Do you all remember Everybody Hates Chris?
No.
Oh.
sorry.
Oh.
No,
Man, this reference is going to be so lost. I hope that whoever's listening to this has watched the show Everybody Hates Chris.
Mom, have you watched Everybody Hates Chris? I keep hitting. I'm so sorry.
What was your name? Jerry?
Yeah, Raspberry Jerry.
Raspberry Jerry.
Yeah.
Raspberry Jerry's mom.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope that, whoever listens has heard the show, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the premise of the show is it's about Chris Rock's upbringing. His parents play are big roles in this show about Chris Rock's life, which a lot of it is fabricated, but they're based on caricatures of his people, his family and stuff. One of the characters is Chris Rock's dad, the guy named Julius, who is played by, what's his name? He's the big muscle guy. He's in
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Yes.
Nice.
So Julius is one of my favorite characters because I feel like I need a Julius in my life. Julius is very, very notoriously frugal. Anytime that anyone gets hurt or sick in the Rock household, they're told to, quote unquote, put some Robitussin on it.
It does stop the coffin.
It stops the coffin. It does not stop a broken leg.
No, maybe
You just
not.
need more, probably.
But yeah, one of the things is that Julius is notoriously frugal. Frugal being a nice way of saying it. But I just need like a disappointed Julius from Everybody Hates Chris to follow me around in my life so that I stop making purchases I can't afford. Yeah. I'm not saying I have a problem. I am saying, though, occasionally it would be nice if I could also afford to eat. I'm not saying I can't afford to eat. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is I could eat more.
Well, I personally would love to get in on the ground floor of investment with this.
Yes.
However, if I had a Julius, I'm not sure he would advise me to. Because I could use that thriftiness in my life as well.
Yeah. I've been thinking about just like drawing or like printing out a little picture of Julius and taping him over the majority of my like debit cards. So every
would
time
Julius
I
do?
what would Julius?
WWJD?
You know, it's super useful. Or that scene from Tiger King where he's like, "I'm never going to financially recover from this."
Yeah.
Both are good.
Okay, but hear me out. What if it's Billy Mays following you around saying,
Billy
"Hey,
Mays here.
you don't need to buy that thing"?
You're never going to
Buy this
financially
thing.
recover from this.
Oh yeah, I guess his job is to sell you
His
stuff.
job is to sell you things.
Oh, man.
I've come up with the anti-Billy Mays. The nega Billy, if you would.
William Mays.
Maliw.
Oh. I don't know if I like that.
I guess it would be Mylim.
Come on, my leam. I don't know any more of the words.
Me neither.
Yep.
Does anybody? But everyone sings it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a song everyone knows the words to. Why don't you build me up?
Build me up.
Buttercup, baby, don't you let me down.
Let me down.
Down, down, first of all. I said everyone knows the words and then I forgot
you didn't
the
know the
words.
words.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Wassail song from Christmas.
Here we come, wassailing among the trees again. Dun, 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 dun.
It's almost 90 degrees out today. Just going to point that out.
You don't want a warm apple beverage?
It's never too early to celebrate Christmas. I'm pretty sure that there has to be like some store in the metro area where you could buy Christmas ornaments right now.
It's in Estes Park. There's the Christmas all the time store.
Ooh.
I don't think that's what it's called, but it's you know. Have you all been there?
proposition. A store called the Christmas All the Time store, but it doesn't sell Christmas things.
Oh, that's fun. Just you enter and it's existentially within the store. December
25th.
25th.
Yeah, but then it becomes an issue. Like it's a statement, right? If every day is Christmas, then does Christmas mean anything?
Wow, that's like Syndrome in The Incredibles.
Ah.
If everyone's special, that means no one is. I haven't thought about The Incredibles in forever. I don't know where that came from.
Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum.
Such good movies, and the soundtracks I will regularly listen to.
Yes.
Incredible.
Do you listen to them like while you're doing anything specific, or just kind of in general?
Saving the day.
Oh, right.
Saving
of
the day in
course.
general. It's fun driving music, fun work music. They've just got a lot of like drive and momentum to them. It lends itself to a nice afternoon of productivity.
I agree. They are very cool, very spy-ish.
Yeah. I when I watched the movie, I didn't know like took place in the 1950s.
Wait, what? It takes place in the 1950s.
1950s.
Really?
Yeah, think about it.
Like alternate universe.
What kind of car does he
but-
drive?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch those. Like the first one, especially. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen most of the second one.
Are there only two, or did the third one just come out?
No, there's
Oh,
two.
Just the two. Okay.
It took like 15 years for the second one to come out.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it'll be a minute.
maybe
long
this.
gap.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I saw the second one. I thought it was good. I think the first one I liked more though.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Disney, we need more original stuff, but also Coco 2.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%. Also, if you feel like reviving Lilo and Stitch as a franchise,
Ooh.
maybe.
That's a good franchise.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Also, a live action of Treasure Planet would be great.
I love that movie, and Strawberry Jerry, that sounds like a terrible idea.
That I feel like
No, I think it's a great idea. Hear me out. I don't remember any of the names of the characters, but hear me out.
The main guy.
No, the main guy, not the main guy. The like, what's his name? The guy who dies.
Ooh, yes, the first mate guy.
Yes,
who's
he
made
is
of
played
rocks.
by Elon Musk.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
Amazon, don't take this podcast down.
Counterpoint, the live-action adaptation of the Artemis Fowl movie. I think that's all I have to say in
I haven't
terms of
seen it.
don't make a
I
live-action
heard
adaptation.
I heard it was terrible.
I very rarely ever feel as though I've wasted my time after watching a movie. That felt like an insult to my childhood and a waste of my time.
Right in the childhood.
Right in the childhood, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of skittish about live-action adaptations myself. I haven't seen that many good ones.
Yeah, agreed.
Did y'all see the Lion King live
Yep.
action?
Yes.
You saw
I
it?
saw it on a plane.
Dude, I saw it on a date with somebody.
Did you like it?
No, well, I was like, in the moment, she was really into it.
Okay, that was my next question.
And so
Yeah,
I
that
was,
was my
I
question
like
as well.
definitely pretended to be into it.
We've all done that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I like looking back on it. I was like, it doesn't help that we had another date after that, but we did not talk after that. She made me watch a movie on that third date that was like, all right, we're done. We're done.
Was it The Lion King?
No.
Oh, a different movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Somehow worse than The Lion King.
Wow.
No, not worse. It was a good movie. Is the issue.
Was that the name of the movie? The Issue? Is that a movie? Because if not, what would it be about? It could be about a magazine producer, and they're making a magazine, and then there's like one very important issue that's going to come out.
Ooh.
And
Or
they
like a
have to-
newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be about the time that the New York Times allowed Donald Trump to buy a full-page spread ad decrying the Central Park Five, who actually ended up being totally innocent, but he wanted to send those black men to jail.
That happened?
100%.
Wow.
In the 80s, yeah.
I didn't hear about
Yeah.
that. Dang.
This man became our president.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's
Anyway.
Wonderwall.
The movie, by the way, that was the reason that I didn't, not the reason. I don't feel comfortable saying that. The movie that we watched.
Contributing factor.
Yeah, the movie that we watched, then I didn't see this person ever again, was Hereditary.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that movie. Did you?
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of scary that I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the exact kind of scary that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, you're not really a scary movie person. I forget.
No, I like scary movies.
Oh, do you?
I will watch a scary movie, but you and I know, like, I love exorcism movies.
Oh.
Because the good guys win. And I'm like, I feel comfortable in that. And even if they lose, it's like, oh, that's good social commentary. But then,
Spoilers probably for Hereditary.
yeah, if you haven't watched the movie Hereditary, skip forward to insert time here.
We're not going to insert the time.
I'm going to forget to insert the time.
Yep.
But yeah, the bad guys win.
Yeah.
And
That was the whole
scarred me.
spoiler. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love horror movies without a happy ending. Maybe that's just me. I first of all love horror movies. The scarier, the better. But they're so by the book most of the time. Like, I don't know if you know how many horror movies a year come out, but it's a lot. And so there's only so many different horror movie plots. So then horror movies that subvert it or throw it on its head or can like genuinely get a good scare out. Big fan, big fan. Hereditary was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I enjoyed it.
I loved Midsummer.
Yes.
I will say.
Midsummer was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as like supernatural. I'm not gonna ruin the ending of that movie because that's the more recent of the two by that specific director.
That was the same director?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're very different movies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like great film. I that one I get behind 100%, but I can't rewatch Hereditary.
I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. And there's plenty of movies out there that you've seen them once. You don't really need to again. Watched There Will Be Blood recently. I don't know if either of you have seen
Oh
it.
yeah.
That movie had me messed up for the rest of the week.
That's a wild movie.
The descent of an oil baron into the depths of depravity, I guess. Very dark, excellently filmed. Captivating, but terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that.
I would recommend it, but do it when you're in a pretty like emotionally sound place.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix right now.
It is. It is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it called? There Will Be Blood?
There will be blood.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of blood.
Oh.
No.
Spoilers.
It takes place. That takes place in West Texas too. right?
Yeah, there's at least part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, movies about West Texas for some reason just like throw me for a loop always.
All my exes live in Texas.
And
That's not true. I think
No,
most of
that's
them
not
live in
true.
Colorado.
I
yeah.
know a couple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you all want to answer some questions?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So we gotta. It's been a minute since our last.
By now it's been probably 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
It's been a number of minutes.
There goes Will. Bye, Will.
Bye, Will. Hey, text me when you get home.
He won't.
You won't.
He might.
No,
I
no
never
one
do.
does. No, you don't. You for sure don't.
I did. I
Like
have
one
before.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Or sometimes it's the next day. Hey, by the way, I'm
I just
alive.
like to know that you're alive.
I am. I'm making a heart around the microphone with my hands.
I'm holding my phone, which has all of our wonderful emails from the
Right.
people that have emailed us. What's our email?
Why, it's lukeandjorgepod@gmail.com or also lukeejorgepod@gmail.com. That's Luke and the letter Y, jorgepod@gmail.com. It is real. We do check it. I'm getting that maybe Jorge forgot that we made that.
No. I'm surprised that you remembered.
I
That's so
I
funny.
Just listened to when we made that one recently.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Wow. I'm so grateful for that.
Yep.
And for this. And for the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good question. What is something you did when you were younger that you were still facing the consequences of? It's a deep question.
When this is silly. So when I was a very, very, very young lad, apparently someone who I won't name thought I was too skinny, so she started to buy a bunch of Yoplait yogurts, and then I ballooned up, and I'm still dealing with that. So there you go. That's something that I did when I was a youth. But dude, Yoplait yogurts are so good. They're tasty and delicious.
Yeah, they're delicious.
But don't eat
Do
too
you
many.
remember Go-Gurt?
I actually never had any Go-Gurts. I saw the ads all the time, though.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
rabbit.
No,
No,
that's
that was the
Trix.
Trix
Yeah.
yogurt.
Silly
Yes.
Jorge. Trix is for the rabbit. I messed it up.
I like it better that way.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Somehow.
Hey,
Yeah.
round of applause for we found that one. Sorry, Jerry.
Yep.
I'm talking over the applause. Sorry. I'm glad you can hear me over this applause.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I know as a child, I very much hated playing any sorts of sports. Not to say that my parents didn't try and involve me in sports. I played soccer, baseball. Baseball was the worst. And I was a varsity bowler for a number of years.
Ooh.
And then I stopped playing sports, and I have continued to not play sports since.
Respect.
Yeah,
That's
that's
yeah,
how that's affected me.
That's definitely.
Yeah,
that
I'm
makes
still dealing
sense.
with that.
Do you bowl ever?
I think the last time I bowled was 2 years ago.
If someone
Not
invited
really.
you to go bowling, would you go?
I'd go. I have
Okay.
my own ball still. I'd bring it.
Whoa.
Nice.
That's a flex.
Yeah. I was asked the other day if I owned a single quote unquote sports ball. My immediate response was no.
But then you
and then I
remembered.
thought about it. Oh no, I own a bowling ball. That wasn't quite what the question was, but technically, yeah. I do own a sports ball.
That's fair.
Were you good the last time you
Oh
bowled?
God, no.
Okay.
Terrible. I wasn't good when I was on varsity. We just didn't have a JV.
Do you own a sports ball?
I know that when I was a youth, we had like a football and a basketball and a very small soccer ball and some baseballs. I don't know where any of them are now. I'm betting you my mom has them in her garage, maybe? Question mark?
I was about to say that I didn't own any balls, any for sports, but I owned a lot of other sports paraphernalia. Okay, you can laugh. You can laugh.
All right. Sorry.
Sorry, Jorge.
I'll wait.
No, that's my job.
No.
You're in summer vacation.
You're right. I am on summer vacation. It's hard to turn off. Sports paraphernalia.
Yeah, I was about to say that I didn't own any like sports balls, but turns out I do own, because I thought I own other things. Like I own a bunch of like ultimate frisbees, like the heavier, really good ones, and like other random stuff like a baseball bat and like a glove. But I also own like 40 baseballs.
Wow. Did you buy them or did you
No.
find them in places?
They were gifted to me.
Oh, great.
Yeah, if y'all want to play catch, we can. I have a glove.
Okay, son.
Or if you want to juggle baseballs,
Ooh,
yeah.
that sounds dangerous. I like having my teeth.
I used to have a soccer ball, but then it like got destroyed. I think I got flattened by a car. But I feel like a lot of my friends that I play soccer with all own soccer balls, so it's been like I've never needed one. Anyways,
So something you did as a child,
Right.
Jorge.
what were you gonna say?
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that I at one time owned a baseball that had a Hershey Kiss on it, and it said Hershey's because I think I got it in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. That's
Yeah.
really cute.
Have y'all ever been to the Hershey plant?
I've never
in
even been to
Hershey,
Pennsylvania.
I've never been to
It's a good
Pennsylvania
time.
either.
You can tour the Hershey plant, kind of like a brewery tour, but it's where they make all the Hershey stuff.
I'm glad that your mind went immediately to like a brewery tour.
Yeah, which I also haven't done. But I'm just assuming that they're the same.
For the amount
Have
of
you-
time.
Have you never been on a brewery tour?
I haven't. I wanted to go to the Coors tour on my 21st birthday, and I'm going to turn 26 in a month, and I still haven't done it.
And it's no free anymore.
It's not.
Yeah.
What?
It's like $5.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
would do that.
Still not bad.
Still not bad.
Yeah.
But it's not free.
Yeah. For the amount of time that I've lived in Colorado and been recommended to do the Coors tour, I never have.
I've gone like 4 times.
Dude, take me with you.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
know
let's
next time
go.
you
Let's make it
Let's
a
make
trip.
a day of it.
Yeah. Golden's fun, and then there's like really good burgers right across the street. It's yeah.
Yeah, the drive up there is pretty. I've passed
Yeah.
it a number of times. I've biked past it too.
I used to take the bus. I used to take the because it's not a light rail. Yeah, I used to take the bus that would go out there, the like shuttle, and it drops you off right near where the tour starts.
That's probably on purpose.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
still
Checks
fun.
out.
Yeah. So something that I did that I'm still suffering the consequences of. Well, there's all of my hubris.
Is that less of an action and more of a trait?
Oh, I know. In middle school, I went through all of elementary school, kind of hating my name, and I decided I wanted a nickname. So I got to middle school and I told everyone that my name was JP.
JP.
Okay.
And so ever since, there's people that refer to me as JP, and I hate that nickname. I don't know why. It's not rational. And like people that know me that call me JP, it doesn't bother me. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh, I don't want that getting out. That's acceptable.
And here you are saying it to all of our listeners.
I have a feeling that your mom might call me JP. Is the sad part. It's like, there's other names I don't like to be called. Freely, I only like to be called Streep Hanks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Streep Hanks.
Streep Hanks. Or Spicy Fabio.
What about Bland Fabio?
You get that you get that name out of this house?
I'm so sorry. Okay, it's out now. I knew a JP in middle school.
Did you like him?
He was a lot better at sports than I was. So my middle school was real cliquey because it was a K-8 school. And so by the time you're in middle school, you've been with the same people for like a bunch of years,
Yep.
And so this kid arrived in 7th grade, 8th grade, towards the end. So
Yeah.
it's hard to be the new kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had a
Have you
similar
experienced?
experience,
Yeah.
yes.
Were you the
Yep.
new kid or were you?
I was the new kid.
Oh,
I
man.
was the new kid. Yeah.
Was that a rough time?
Oh, it wasn't the best of times. There were certainly some very unpleasant people in my grade, but I was lucky enough to connect with some good people too.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was it a class of like 30 something or something?
But it was our grade was always split into 2 classes, and I think we were around 40 students.
Okay.
Total, split into like 2 classes of 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to escape people that you don't want to talk to in a group that small.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah. I feel you.
I usually just didn't talk.
You're talking now though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I like y'all.
Aw.
Would you call yourself an introvert?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
How? This is actually another question that we got.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we were going to get to it.
Wow.
So this is an incredible transition.
Segue.
This one is from Extrovert Expert. Expert Extrovert. Is that what I think that's what it says. I'm not looking at the email right now. The question is something along the lines of, hello, I am an extrovert and I always have trouble interacting with introverts. How do introverts enjoy being handled? Or
Tenderly.
Unless it's very
With
specific
care.
context, I don't know how I feel about being handled at all.
yeah, but how should an extrovert, what do they need to know in order to interact with an introvert? I say
Sure.
this also as an introvert,
Okay.
despite the fact that I co-host a podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you describe yourself as an extrovert or an introvert, Luke?
I think I'm just confused. I think I think from like 2000 to like 2012, I would have said that I was an introvert. And then from like 2013 to like 2020, I would have said that I was an extrovert. But now that I've had a whole year to like have a bunch more free time to myself, now I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little both.
Well, not everything needs a label.
That's true.
Everything needs a label.
Right.
2021.
Label me confused.
And I'm not just saying that because I have invested greatly in label makers. Big Label Maker is not a sponsor of our podcast.
It could be though. Yeah.
Yes.
If Honda doesn't come through.
If Honda doesn't come through, hey, Big Label, you're a number 2.
Big label.
Wait, so if I'm looking to get in on the ground floor of label making, what stock do I invest in?
Well, first talk to Julius and see if
Yeah,
it's a good
it's just-
idea.
Yeah.
That's a
Don't
good point, good
talk
point.
to
Yeah,
Millie
yeah, yeah.
Mays because you know what he's
no,
going to say.
he's just going to try and sell me on it.
Yeah. What was the question?
I forget
Oh,
what we were talking about.
Yeah. How do
How do you
introverts-
handle it?
How do you? Well, first you firmly grasp.
No.
Yuck. That's not the first time I've said, yuck, recently on this podcast.
Today.
Yeah, when Will was here.
A
Bye,
couple
Will.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if he has a Wolverine fact.
Oh, it was Wombat.
Or Wombats. It was a
fact.
Wombat fact.
Yeah.
Jeez. He's just waiting over there. He's just staring at me like in the corner.
Hey, guys, I got a Wombat fact for you. How's my Will impression? Is it fine?
So bad.
Not great.
Well, sorry, Will.
Probably better than I could do.
I actually got a text from Will. It says, hey, can you tell Luke to stop doing impressions of me?
Wow.
It's weird because he's in the
Yeah.
corner and his hands haven't moved.
Yeah, kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this hereditary?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Anyway, how do we talk to introverts?
Being an introvert among a lot of other extroverts can be a little exhausting. I know as an introvert, I tend to thrive best if the situation is sort of in my control or if I can sort of set the terms of the engagement, if I'm in a space that's comfortable for me, if we're doing something I like doing. Like one of my favorite ways of engaging with people socially is playing Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
And I can 100% be around like a whole lot of extroverts all day long if all we're doing is sitting around playing Magic, you know. That's very easy for me because it's a format that I'm very used to and sort of like a group setting that makes a lot of sense to me. It can be a little more overwhelming when it's something like going to a stranger's party with like one or two people that you know and then being surrounded by lots and lots of people that you don't. That's, as an introvert, it's something that gives me a decent amount of anxiety. Largely because I've got a very small battery for actually spending time in those spaces with lots of people that I don't know. Like that just takes energy. Whereas like being on my own or being with like one really good friend might sort of refill that battery. I'd say just as an extrovert, keep in mind that your introverted friends have a sort of like a battery that might run low as the day gets long.
I concur.
Yeah.
I think personally I have just like a really high threshold where like you can throw me into a number of situations and I'll be fine because I do a good job of recharging my battery on my own. Kind of like I feel like I spend most of my life on my own. Like at work, I'm by myself most of the work day. Even things like performing, like as like a musician, like when you're on stage in front of a massive group of people or like a very small group of people is more realistic for the kind of performing that I do. Like it never feels like overwhelming in a sense because like that's like a character. Even when I'm performing as myself, that is like a character that I've put on. Yeah, I think personally I do a really good job of like being in a group of people for like an extended period of time. I will say the times where that has like run out has almost always been like when I'm in a group of people and I can't get out. Like I enjoy having it out even if I never use it.
Yeah.
Like I went on a camping trip. I don't even want to call it a camping trip. We stayed at like an Airbnb in the mountains. And that was like a good experience, but I was like quickly overwhelmed by the fact that like everyone was staying there and there was like a number of people and like I was always interacting socially with people that I kind of knew. And again, super fun, but at the same time, like I felt drained after that. Or a thing that did you do the D&D retreat?
I didn't.
Oh man,
I did.
So
I was there.
Isabel, you know, like that was so much fun.
Oh,
Being
it
in
was
like
a
a big
blast.
group
Yeah.
of our friends and like playing D&D, playing multiple sections, multiple different games. Like it was a lot of fun. After that, though, I was like wiped.
Oh,
right.
totally shot.
Got home, and I don't think like under normal circumstances I would have, but the fact that we were all like sleeping in the same area that we were all like hanging out in felt very overwhelming.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I think that's the defining feature for me is like there's no out,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
I hate it at the end.
yeah.
As a confused person, I feel like I do fine among other people, but the one thing that I struggle with is I feel like I'm really bad at small talk. So if I'm like among people that I don't know or don't know very well, I appreciate when other people will just talk a lot because then I don't have to think of what to say next.
Or getting asked like a very specific question, like, oh, you know, I find out what you are into. I'm like, what do you like to? You teach music? Great. Oh, you play the saxophone? Okay. You like jazz?
You like jazz?
You like jazz?
Jazz.
Who's your favorite saxophonist? And
Me.
why?
Because I'm awesome.
See, I got some words out of Jerry.
Yeah, 4 of them. You know what I mean, though? Yeah. Like, I feel like there are
Yeah.
people out there who can just go on, and I am into that because then it's less work for everybody else. And I've definitely been around people who, like, even in, like, a one-on-one setting, they'll, like, talk for a while, and then they'll be like, wow, I'm talking a lot. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, like, please.
That's me. That's always me. I'm always apologizing.
Hey, you don't have to because then I don't have to think about anything to say.
But you're so interesting.
Aw, thanks. You're also interesting.
Shut up.
I think you're both pretty boring.
Okay, fair.
Thank you.
Yes.
Someone finally speaks the truth.
Yes, our president. So you must know. Yeah,
There's a reason we pay her the big bucks.
right.
Yeah.
Both of them, both bucks.
Both dollars.
Yep.
One from me and then one from Jerry.
Yep. Just enough for bus fare home.
You must live pretty
You
close.
drove.
Hush, they don't need to know that.
I don't
drove
have any
to the
ones.
studio. I don't think I have any ones.
I have 4 $5 bills.
we will
How did
Venmo
this
you.
happen? I never gave Will the $4 from last time.
Oh, we're gonna cut that out because I'm gonna give you Will's Venmo.
Okay, great. Well, we could just do it now. We don't need to put Will's Venmo on the podcast.
I think we should totally put Will's Venmo on the podcast.
Then people can just Venmo him.
Dude, I told you this. I put my Venmo on Instagram today.
Yeah. Do you want me to put your Venmo on the podcast
No.
Instagram? Okay.
No,
You sure?
that's fine. Yeah. People will figure it out. One way or the other.
How? What? What does that mean?
I'm gonna give you Will's Venmo, but in like a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we're cutting all of this out.
Oh,
Yeah.
are we?
Okay.
What if I edit this one and then what if I don't cut it out?
I hope you don't edit this one. Please cut this out. We're just rambling about Venmo.
Hey everyone, this is Luke from the future. I am editing this one and I'm not going to cut that part out. Anyway, back to business. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. What were we talking about?
Great question. Oh, I guess I
think
could
we-
ask a question.
Kind of ran the limit of the introverts question. Let's.
Yeah.
What are you the 1% of?
So when Spotify released their like, here's what you did in 2020 things, remember that? I was in less than the top 1% of My Chemical Romance listeners in 2020.
That's better than mine. I was top 1% of Gorilla's listeners, but I think MCR is better.
Yeah.
Nice.
That might be my only thing, maybe.
I think I might have been in 1% of listeners of the genre of jazz.
Okay.
Is anyone surprised by this? Are you surprised
Nope,
by this?
not
Are you
even a
surprised by
little
this?
That you listen to jazz, or that jazz has
So few followers.
listeners? I suppose neither, but I feel like jazz really ought to make a comeback.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Make it happen, Jorge. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm
come on.
fine. No.
Y'all single-handedly bring jazz back.
Yeah.
I don't think it went anywhere, but
According to what's his name, Westphalia Marsupial, all jazz made after 1963 is not jazz. So,
That's right, obviously.
you know who I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Nope.
Wynton Marsalis. We
Oh.
can't say his name out loud.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Valor
Something
Margolis?
marsupials?
Westphalia Marsupials.
Wait, wasn't he born kind of not that long ago?
Yeah, but apparently he's the authority on jazz because no one else cares enough.
Well, I mean, you got that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not jazz anymore. So jazz isn't making a comeback, I guess.
rough.
Jazz is dead.
In 1963, which is like also an early date for like Headhunters hadn't come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that jazz, though? Or is it fusion? If you haven't listened to Headhunters by
Herbie Hancock and the
and
Headhunters.
yeah. It's a great album. Listeners, listen to it. Yeah.
My goal is to when I'm in a more financially stable place. Not saying I'm financially unstable. Again, don't want to imply anything.
Right.
But when I have more money coming in, I want to get a little chameleon, and I'm gonna name him Herbie.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my life's goal.
Wow. I thought you were just going to say that you were going to get the Headhunters album on vinyl.
Are you implying I don't already have it? I don't, but I
Okay,
don't like the
need it.
implication.
Sorry, I take
I
it back.
resent the implication, sir.
Redacted.
Yeah. I want to get like a really old, maybe not like first edition, but I'd like to get like an old printing of it, because the newer printings of it are fine, but the older printings I think are better. Because if you're making the printing from like a digital record as opposed to like a master, we don't need to get into this.
The Master Chief?
The Master Chief. I say it, and I'm playing it off of like a $20 record player, so
Yeah. So what?
maybe I shouldn't talk.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is when I listen to digital repressings, they're not always as good. And some things that didn't originally come out on vinyl and then come out on vinyl after are also not good. Always in those editions. I think my brother took this, but I had a printing of Kanye West's first album, and it was bad. It was like really bad quality. I was like kind of surprised by it, but whatever.
Weird.
Anyways,
Did you all play Halo?
Oh, so
Yeah.
much Halo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I've played like only this much Halo. Listeners, I'm making a very small amount with my fingers. Only this much, just because I've been like a PlayStation kid for my whole life. But it seems fun. The title screen always seems cool whenever I see it. The aliens seem spooky. Not as spooky as the aliens in Alien.
Oh,
but,
no.
But close.
Yeah. Pretty large hallmark of my childhood period. I think Halo 3 was one of the first video games I played. Slayer mode, just me and my buddy Will in this basement. Me playing a first-person shooter for the first time, so just having my butt handed to me over and over again.
that's fair.
Yeah. I still get the there's a particular song from Halo 3 that's just iconic that I will regularly get stuck in my head.
I often sing the original Halo theme in bathrooms when I'm in public.
Yes.
Wow. How does that go? Do people react?
Oh yeah, sometimes people join in.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm not gonna sing this whole thing because copyright. Here's a question.
Yeah.
How do you all take your coffee?
As quickly as possible.
You drink it black most of the time.
That's true, but it's mostly true because I've been trying to not have so much dairy. So the thing that I have instead of dairy is coconut milk, and I don't really like coconut milk in my coffee. I feel like it tastes weird. So instead, I just have it black.
How do you feel about nut milks?
I feel like they taste fine and are fine. However, I saw somewhere that nut milks use a lot of water to produce, and I read that coconut milk uses much less water to produce, which is why I've landed on coconut milk as opposed to a nut milk. So
What about oat milk?
I don't know if I've ever tried oat milk.
Have you ever had like Oatly? I think that's
No.
when I lived in a house full of vegans and pescatarians, that's what we drink often was Oatly.
Okay.
Good stuff. Really, really enjoy it. It's like slightly sweet, so I feel like I don't have to add any sugar to my coffee. Just like a little bit is like good enough for me. Though I drink coffee black a lot of the time. But at work, they've been buying creamer and putting it in our fridge. And since the creamer's around, I've been using it more.
That's fair.
Definitely reminds me of like coffee growing up in my parents' house. Right.
Creamer is dangerous. I used to hate coffee, and then I tried Irish cream coffee creamer at my parents', just like the regular Safeway brand.
Oh,
And I haven't looked back. I bought a coffee maker 2 days ago.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
How many cups in the little in the thingy? Is it like a big old one or just like a little bitty, like a personal sized one?
I think it's a 12-cup coffee mate.
Nice.
Something like that. It was like $25. It was super cheap. But I used it today for the first time, and it worked pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I think the one that I have is like 5, so I'm very impressed with your 12.
No.
Well done.
Yeah, I will have like 1 cup in the morning and just be done for the day. And then my girlfriend will regularly revisit the coffee pot over and over and over.
Yep.
I could not handle that much caffeine, but she thrives on it.
I'm kind of the same way, especially when I'm at work. Like I'll have one during the first class, and then I'll have another during the next class, and then by the third class, boy, do I gotta pee. So these are the habits that I have. Everything is fine. It's summer. Amen.
Amen.
Wait, how do you take your coffee? With cream when it's around.
And
But what's your preference?
often when I make coffee, black. Because I feel like I put a lot of effort into making, like I don't make coffee at home super often. I have like a French press and then occasionally I'll do like pour over. But for the most part, it's like French press. And I feel like me using my French press is like a concerted effort. And like I use beans that I think are a little bit higher quality and I use whole beans that I like grind myself. And I worked at a coffee shop for a long time. So I feel like I have like a good sense of what I like and what I don't like in coffee.
Yeah.
So when I'm like putting effort into coffee that I'm making for myself, I want it to be like really good coffee. And I usually feel that like when I do that process, I don't need to add like a ton to it because I like the flavor of the coffee beans themselves.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
If I go to like a shop, if I go to a coffee shop, I really like Americanos. That's usually like how I judge a coffee shop is like if the Americano's good and then they're like non-coffee drink like a chai is good. Usually that means most things there are going to be pretty solid. And then at work, there's creamer, so I drink it with creamer. When I'm at my parents' house, they add like whole milk and sugar to instant coffee, and so that's what I drink when I'm at my parents' house. And I love it. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I like Folgers. I buy a lot of Folgers. But also, I like to have the big old tub afterwards that you can just put stuff in.
Yeah.
Like, I got one in my garage that has a bunch of, like, random screws in it.
Yep.
And I feel like an old suburban dad.
Yeah. Case in point, my dad has that exact same can of Folgers coffee with nails and screws in it that he's had since I can remember.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
I'm going to have mine until I die, probably. Yeah. And if it gets full, I'll have another one.
And I'd be terrified to be to reach into it though. Like just staring at the can of loose screws and nails, none of them are like the same sizes, half of them are rusty. Like I don't understand it as a storage method because it's not at all organized and it looks dangerous to use.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I've like looked for things in mine, but I always like dump it out on my like workbench so that way I can kind of like, sift through as opposed to like having to stick my hand into the metal sharp things of death pot.
To the spike pit.
Yeah.
The spike pit.
The spike pit.
Send them into the spike pit.
But I don't want to.
Oh, Will, no, that wasn't a command. No, get away from him. Get away from him.
Will, stop it.
What? Oh, you just landed in your chair again.
Oh, here I am.
That's where the spike pit leads.
I keep bumping this mic stand. I'm so sorry, everyone, for all the bumpity bump sounds that you're going to hear.
Are you all down for one more question?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This one's a little bit more serious.
Ooh.
I know.
I struggle with serious things.
I struggle with most things.
That's
fair. So this is just like our other questions, a submission from our listeners.
Thanks, listeners. Was it to the and or to the e email address?
This is to the and.
Okay.
We haven't got much to the e email ad. People don't know about it because we haven't published that episode yet.
Oh, that's
or
right.
this episode. But if you're listening to this episode, you can email us at lukeandjorgepod@gmail.com or lukeandjorgepod@gmail.com.
And if you would like to email me, Isabel, please don't. I get enough emails.
That's fair. Yeah. Leave her alone. So this email, it says they introduce themselves as quote unquote Jacob. Jacob is 25 years old and he just started dating this young woman. She's 24 years old. We'll call her, he didn't give us a name. What do we call her?
What's the name of the girl from Twilight?
Bella?
Bella.
Because there's a Jacob in Twilight and he's a dog man.
There is a, what's the name of the Bella's child that Jacob imprints on in the
Oh, God.
I guess I haven't seen all the Twilight movies. I don't know.
I watched them more recently than I'd care to admit, but I can't remember.
Is it an Esme or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Can we just call it Vampita? For
Vampita. I like that. Okay, so Jacob and Vampita.
Absolutely.
He didn't even describe them as dating. He described them as talking. So he was asked by Vampita what his intentions are. What's a good way for him to tell her what he wants without being too strong? So specifically, it sounds like he's looking for love and a relationship, but doesn't want to come on too strong.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's better to just say it sooner because then everyone knows. Because if not everybody knows, then there's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
And you may quote me on that one. I would put that on a t-shirt.
And make it double. I strongly believe in communication in relationships. Jacob should absolutely just let her know how she feels. Maybe not in a way that's sort of overbearing, just sort of like a quiet, this is what I'm looking for out of a relationship right now. If you don't feel that same way, that's okay. But
Yeah.
This is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
As the only one not in a relationship right now, I think I'm going to contradict both of you and say, don't make your intentions known. Don't communicate. It's worked out great for me.
All right. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
From Streep Hanks.
From Streep Hanks.
Streep Hanks.
Love and relationship expert.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't believe her parents named her Vampita. What a rough life. She probably had a terrible time in 7th grade.
You make a terrible mom.
Yeah. But I got my Folgers can of nails, so I'll make a great dad.
You'll make an okay dad.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
A suburban one, at least.
Yeah.
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 What a rural dad.
Nope.
Isn't that my dad?
Yep.
I grew up on a farm.
I grew up knowing what a farm was.
Well, thank you, Isabel, for joining us on this weird adventure. I have to say, I think I'm gonna. At least this must be said. You're the 6th person in our D&D group.
Yeah.
We've finally had everyone.
Yeah.
All the D&D for it has been complete.
Yeah, the whole party.
Yeah.
We can have everybody on again, but in character.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
That sounds both terrible and amazing. I fully support it.
How
Make
would
it happen.
Kate's character even begin to reconcile what's going on?
Oh, it's okay. He'd just have some choice things to say.
He would probably say, I don't want to be recorded and like leave. I wish not to be perceived.
Unless we're doing this outside, I think I'm going to leave.
Does any of you have any raw chicken?
Yeah, no. That's a D&D joke. If you're not in our D&D campaign, which is most of you, sorry.
I'm
Anyway.
not.
Here's Wonderwall.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Sometimes I feel. Oh, I started singing the wrong song.
Intentionally.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Yeah, this has been a podcast.
This has been the only podcast that
That's true.
exists on Earth.
Isabel, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Not on a PG program.
All right.
Sorry about that. No, I don't.
Okay. No causes that you think should be donated to?
Be gay, do crime.
Okay.
Amen.
What things do we have to plug?
We have some Glade air fresheners to plug in. Glade, if Honda falls through, I would.
Number 3.
Yeah.
You are our number 3.
Yep. In the best way possible.
Good things come in 3s.
Yep. Anyway, you can email us at lukeandjorgepod@gmail.com or lukeejorgepod@gmail.com. And that's not the letter E for all of y'all English speakers. That's the letter Y. It's Spanish for the word and.
IYKYK.
Yep, that's some letters. You can also follow us on the Instagram and the Twitter at Luke and Jorge Pod. We'd love to hear your questions. We'd love to hear what you think of us as people.
Give us your evaluations.
Yeah.
Any psychiatrists out there?
Yeah, if you want to give us free psychiatry work, we would definitely take that, probably.
We need it.
Yeah.
For the good of our country, we need it. This has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces.